What's up, guys? Mason Brock Henderson, and that was a good ending. Um, I I don't know, something about family. Anytime it has to do with family, it always kind of gets to me just a little bit. It's kind of weird, I'm only 21. Me and my brother don't even get along, and yet somehow that gets to me. I don't know. It was just really touching. Um, but yeah, I mean, fitting fall finale in my opinion. It doesn't really have anything to do with some deep case going on, anything like that. It's just Ducky's a great character. He's probably my second favorite character of the group. My first, obviously, being Gibbs. Um, because he's just, we still don't know that much about him. There was the one episode in the last season where we got to learn a bit about his friend, who we actually saw in this episode, some more. And I like the fact that they even have a young Ducky, that keeps popping up, because we don't know that much about him. We hardly get much about his life story, and he has such an interesting life story. So I love the fact that we get to learn more about him, and that this case is all about him and his brother. His long lost half brother that he was just so close with that he lost a long time ago. It was a fitting fall finale, in my opinion. It doesn't matter that it wasn't that intense. It doesn't matter that it had nothing to do with, like I said, some deeper case. Like most fall finales, if there's some sort of running plot, which actually NCIS has not had this season, besides Jake and Bishop. But they haven't really had like a case that's a running plot right now. They ended the whole the kids. I can't remember their name now. Crap. You guys, if you've been watching the show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the all the kids, they were being recruited to become terrorists through social media, stuff like that. They ended that at the beginning of the season. I wasn't really sure how I felt about that. I don't know. I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but it was kind of disappointing to see it just sort of end right there. Denozo kills the main guy behind the main kid, pretty much behind it all, and that's it. There's nothing else about it. And so it just kind of leaves. There's no room to go with that. So I was kind of disappointed they did that, but they have kept my interest. The cases have been okay, except for one where there was like a bunch of dumb things happening. It was the one where Bishop and McGee had to pretend to be a married couple. Text message. But they had to pretend to be a married couple, and then they made all these mistakes at the end. Bishop left her phone. McGee didn't answer Bishop's call. All this stuff. It's just, come on, guys, you're better than this. You should know better. But anyway, that was the one case I took issue with. The rest of them have been pretty good. And then the stuff going on the outside between McGee and Delilah, between mainly with Abby, and kind of some of the stuff she's had to deal with. Denozo even has got himself a sort of relationship. Got to see Jean Benoit again. That was really interesting. So it's really kept my interest through the personal lives this season instead of some running case, some terrorist organization that they're trying to take out. So it's been different, but not unenjoyable. I still was able to enjoy it, even though it's not what normally catches my attention about this show. So it's been different, but it's still been really good. And this episode is no exception. The case itself is fairly straightforward. Ducky gets kidnapped by this one guy who's asking questions about his brother. Apparently, this has to do with some really valuable stamps, one of which Ducky's brother sent to him on a postcard. He's looking for the other one that's like connected to that stamp. So all of that is going on. They find out about the guy. They find out about his partner, who apparently hired him, and then he was like, "Oh, I could get a lot of money for this," and kills the guy that hired him, and then kidnaps who they believe is Nicholas uh, Nicholas Mallard, and so they finally it all it all comes with this big climax, and then it's not the brother, and I'm just like, really? Like, do we? What? What's what is going on? Like, this guy just happens to have a British accent and also the name Nicholas Mallard. Hang on a minute, this is a little too coincidental. Uh, but ultimately, they did have a good ending, um, because the team works together, finds like goes back and digs up some information, finds out that Ducky's stepmom changed Nicholas and her name after they left, um, and so they found him through that name. The sad part is that he has early onset amnesia, so he's in a nursing home of sorts. And so they do have that final moment with him, and that it really got me choked up. I mean, because you could see what they were leaning towards. I've seen it before. Um, like whenever they're young, he does the little like tussles the hair, and the kid Nicholas reaches up and squeaks the nose, go meow, meow. And so that's how they're going to reunite. And I was I was thinking they're going to do this now. I can tell where they're going with this. Like, this is going to be really weird to see between two grown men, two old men. But the fact that he has amnesia just really, really got the tears flowing. I mean, it was. This show gets to my emotions sometimes, and that rarely happens in shows. Like, if they can get me emotional, that it's doing something right. But yeah, I mean, it was a really touching moment, and if it wasn't Ducky, it may not have been as touching because Ducky's just this really good character and probably the best character to do this story with. Um, but anyway, that's just what's going on the outside of all of this. The really strong parts were not only what's going on in the past with Ducky, but also what's still going on with Jake and Bishop. Um, I love the fact that that's just they're kind of going through it all. They're not just pushing it to one side because this is a serious issue that she's kind of having to work through. And it's not the one thing I like about it isn't. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, it's part of the show, but at the same time, it's not distracting from what's going on inside the show. It is affecting her a bit, but it's not to the point where she can't do her job anymore. This one really got to her because he shows up and she kind of realizes that the affair is not the problem. They were a problem before the affair. And McGee overhears it all, so that may be an issue that comes up later. I'm not sure. She may be upset with him because he listened in. I don't know. But now he knows everything that was said, and so whenever she comes back, she's really thinking about it. She's distracted, and she's just like, "Yeah, I gotta go home," and then realizes, "No, I can't just keep thinking about this. I've got to push on. I've got to move on with my job." And so she works through it. And so, but it is nice to see her kind of going through this and seeing that they're all there for her, because that is part of the show. It's not just all about the cases. It is about the team itself. That's one of the reasons I watch this show. It's following the lives of these team members and how much of a family they are because they all work together. They all deal with so much stuff together. And that's one of the problems I think that, if you'll allow me to go to another show really fast, Criminal Minds in the 10th season, so the one before this current one, they had a lot of an issue with that because they stopped focusing on the team, started focusing all on the cases. And so it just wasn't as enjoyable because the team moments that they normally have were happening once every 4 episodes, something like that. So it wasn't as enjoyable because you didn't get to see them interacting, whereas NCIS always has interaction with the team. So even if the case maybe isn't all that good, you still get to see them interacting with each other, they're cracking jokes. They had probably one of the funniest moments as far as Gibbs walking up on them, because Bishop's at her desk and McGee and DiNozzo are watching from behind the staircase. They're talking. They're talking about everything. And all of a sudden, Bishop's just like, I can hear everything you're saying. And I was like, what? How? I whispered. She's like, yeah, but it's a skylight, so all the sound over there reflects back over here. And he gets over there, he's like, really? That's interesting. She's like, yeah, just like so and so can hear me. And like, Rachel, can you hear us? She just waves at them, and all of a sudden he's just like, this is how he does it. And they're just like, who? Gibbs. This is. There's probably this one sweet spot in the room that he shows up early every day and just waits in that moment, just like a prowler monkey, waiting for the right moment to step in. And Gibbs steps up and finishes her sentences. Exactly. Thank you, boss. And just probably one of the funniest Gibbs walks up on the moments ever. And that's what I enjoy. That's what I enjoy about the show. The cases are always interesting, and I enjoy getting to see how they're solving it. I enjoy getting to see them doing certain things inside the case. Sometimes DeNozo and McGee, like the one with the YouTube guy at the pawn shop in this episode, sometimes it gets way too goofy for my taste, but for the most part they keep it fun. But that's what I enjoy seeing. The cases are there and are good, but I really care about the team. And so seeing Bishop go through all this has been just a roller coaster, dealing with the emotion same way she has been. And so that was one part of this. But then also, like I said, getting to see Ducky in the past, getting to see what he had to go through. This pretty much evil stepmother that was trying to take everything in this divorce of his father. And then before they even have time to try to do anything, like she was asking for money and they didn't have the money. And so Ducky's friend has the money and says, here you go, now you can pay her off. But before he can get the money somebody gets a call at the hospital that they're at and says that the neighbor sees the stepmother taking everything and trying to leave. So he gets there in time to stop her, but she has the cops called on him, they're in Britain, so I don't know what they're called over there. But, they're holding him back, and he has to watch as his little his half-brother, who he loves very much, just get driven away by his stepmother and never see him again. That's intense. That was probably the most intense it got, and it was still so much emotion in it that it was intense. And it was intense enough for the whole episode. But all of that just led to a great payoff when he finally gets to see Nicholas again. And like I said, extremely touching moment. And it just proves that this show doesn't have to go full out intense for a finale. Oftentimes they can just give us a very emotional episode with the characters, and that's enough for me. It was really good. Really, really, really good. This is the first time I've ever cried in one of these reviews. Not really cried, teared up, more like. But anyway. Was it as touching as I think? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Was it really a great fall finale? Leave a like and subscribe. Check out other reviews. Obviously, fall finale, so it's returning in January, so be ready for more season 13 after that. And I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.